Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry, it has been a while since the last painting, but we just seem to be super busy around here, and I don't know, the things that I've tried lately just haven't really worked out for me, and of course I'm definitely running out of supplies, so we're trying not to go, out and about at all. I did sneak into the art store for just a few little paints really quick because I really was dying for some new paint. But in and out, and we got a few of these really pretty brightly colored Anita's craft paints, and I really like these. I like these over the apple barrel only because the colors, as bright as they are when they're wet, they stay almost that bright when they're dry, and they have more of a sheen to them than the apple barrel paints. I still like the apple barrel paints, but those come from Walmart, and I don't believe that Walmart is ordering those at the moment, so they're pretty much all out of craft paint at the moment. So yeah, we're going with the Anitas, and these are some of my favorite colors. We've got the permanent deep eggplant, wasabi, crimson red, and Hawaii. I like the deep eggplant because it's very similar to the wild iris, although it doesn't have quite as much pink in it. The wasabi is, I love lime green. Crimson red is very similar to my favorite cranberry from Apple Barrel. And then Hawaii is turquoise, and who doesn't love turquoise? So the white we're using, again, is the same white I always use, almost always. It is the Artist Loft Flow White Acrylic. I like it better than the titanium white in the tubes because it actually shows up in your paintings, whereas usually the titanium white, because it's heavier, it usually sinks to the bottom of your paintings. You don't get much of it. So what I have in my paints is the paint, probably about 1.5 ounces of paint to probably maybe 1 ounce of floetrol, and then just a little bit of water just to thin them up just enough to make a nice thick honey consistency, and then one teeny tiny drop of my go-to treadmill belt lubricant, 100% silicone. And as you can see, I still have a really full bottle. This bottle is a 4-ounce bottle, and I've been using it for like 2 years, and I still have like almost 3.5 ounces left. So this is a really good investment if you want to buy silicone online. I get this at the sports store. It was like $14-15, and I've had it for like 2 years, and if I keep going like this, it'll be around for the next 10 years. So good investment. Okay, so this is an 8x8 canvas, and we've got my little trusty medicine cup here, and we're just going to do a pretty pour for today. The last one I was not happy about. It's already been cut off of the frame, and I probably will, I maybe can make, I've already cut it off. Maybe like a piece of jewelry from here, or I don't know, maybe down here somewhere, or some of these cute little cells. But really, it was just an ugly painting. It didn't work out well. Didn't like it. So there's nothing that says you have to keep every painting that you do. And I knew that if I left that one sitting around for 6 months, I still wouldn't like it. So, okay. I'm just going to stir my my silicone in there real quick. Just a few quick stirs. And I'm going to don my gloves real quick because I do tend to forget about them. But guys, remember, any of you starting off out there with acrylic pouring, if you're using the floetrol is not good for you. I can attest to that 100% because when I was using floetrol and not wearing gloves, I was getting such terrible headaches because I'd paint for 2 or 3 hours, and the paint would soak into my skin, of course, with the floetrol. It wasn't the paint that was bothering me, it was the floetrol, and I was getting severe headaches. So you guys, please wear your gloves. I try to wear mine at all times. I do forget occasionally, but I'm really trying hard to remember my gloves. So we're just going to layer these colors. Maybe put some white in between some of them. And hopefully we're going to come up with just a pretty pretty acrylic pour. I don't see a lot of people doing just the basic acrylic pour lately. I don't know if everybody's kind of sick of them or not, but when you get a really pretty one, I don't know, just something exciting about when you get a pretty one, where everything works out well and all the colors blend. I know a lot of times when I use that limey green color with the sort of cranberry color, I'll get almost a peachy color come out in some of the places on the painting, which is really quite neat. Which is really interesting to me because I'm not really sure why lime green and cranberry create a peach color, but they do. Oh, yeah, we'll put some turquoise. And I usually just fill up my little medicine cup. I'm hoping to have some colors left over, which it looks like I'm going to. Maybe we can do another painting with just these colors, because it'll turn out completely different from the first one. Alright, so I'm moving the colors out of the way. I've got my trusty corner catcher. Always have a corner catcher online. And let me show you the back of my canvas real quick. I've got my push pins in each corner, and then right here you can see those staples at an angle. I have peeled up the corners of this canvas and tucked it under and then stapled it and hammered the staples down. That way these corners will not peel up when the wet paint hits them. And so your back of your canvas looks nice and neat. There are some canvases you buy where they're stapled in the corners, but this particular canvas, they don't staple them in the corners. They staple them this way, you know, along the line of the frame, but not diagonally. So that is tip for the day, to staple your corners down so that the back of your canvas from the side looks as nice as the front of it. Ooh, it kind of got muddy. That green and that purple kind of mixed together. I'll pour it off the sides here. Get those corners. The wind is blowing, so you might hear some tingling in the background. It's these little bells that I have hung up in the window. They're getting blown around by the wind. It's been raining a lot here, so today is the first day we've had sunshine in a while, so we are enjoying it. Let's torch our painting here. We got some big pretty cells come up so far. You can see it go along there, and it just, look at that. Cool. Okay, that is plenty. Look at all those teeny tiny cells. Ooh, they look so pretty. Look at that around there. Like a purple cell with a creamy lime green around it. Very pretty. Oh gosh, there's just so many pretties here. Okay, and then we got some veins over here, which we're going to completely lose because it's all going to go off the sides. And I really don't want to waste any of my paint that's in the cups. So we're going to scrape a little more out of this cup for along the edges here, so that we don't have to waste all of our pretty paint that we have mixed up, so we can use it for another painting. Your paints always move better on a wet canvas, so you know, if you realize you're having trouble keeping those pretty cells that are along the edge, wet down your canvas with some of the excess paint. It's not going to matter how ugly it gets, because it won't show through. I know a lot of you will skip through my videos, but if you guys will listen, especially if you're new to paint pouring, I give a lot of tips, and maybe it's sometimes the same tips over and over again, but you know, if you're new to acrylic pouring, I try to give you guys a lot of tips so that your paint pouring will be successful. And this may be kind of tedious to watch, but if you pay attention, you know, it really does help your paint move off of your canvas. So, and you can see how big the cells are already, so look forward to when they get really big, and that we can just sort of shove off, because that's really super ugly right there. Okay, so there we go. We got a nice wet canvas. We're going to set this off to the side. Keep them out of the way. Okay, so I really love this. I think this is my favorite area. So we're definitely going to get rid of some of this. This is what I want to keep the most of. So we're going to pour off this side first. So whatever you want to keep the most of, pour off that corner first. And go slowly. And remember what I say. You guys that have been watching, you know what I say. When you get the corner catcher on there, hold it to the sides, but not on the corners. Okay? Because you don't want all that paint to go off the sides, but you do want it to hit that corner. And if you go slowly, you see how it's kind of moving. The cells aren't rolling over top of each other. They're just sliding across that wet paint. And yeah, they still roll over each other a little bit, but a lot less than they do when you don't put any wet paint on your canvas. And this will help your cells if you go slowly. It also helps your cells not go all wonky. Off that corner, there we go, and bring it back a little bit before you pull it down, and pull your side catcher sort of down and away. There we go. Pretty, pretty, looking good so far. Oh, I love that. That's so pretty in the middle there. Okay, and we got caterpillar cells right there, so that we're going to pour off last because I don't like that. So we're going to pour off probably this corner over here. Make sure you bring everything back to the center before you pour it off, because if you bring it back to the center and then you won't go off this way, your cells still kind of stay around. But I like going from corner to corner most of the time. It tends to work a little better. So let's pour off this side. It's a shame we're going to lose those white veins, but that's okay. And even though we only have four colors, it seems like we have a lot more than that. That top left corner looks kind of cool right now, but we're going to lose it, unfortunately. There we go. And back towards the center there. Okay, so we're going to go up this corner next so we can get rid of that. Even though that looks cool up there, unfortunately. I don't like caterpillar cells at all. And the further you stretch, the more cells you're going to get that come up from underneath the paint. But you got to be careful too. If you stretch it too far, everything just kind of goes wonky and it looks ugly. There we go. Okay, whoops. That corner did not want to go. There we go. Oh my goodness, look what I did. I don't know how I did that. I wasn't paying attention. We'll have to pour that off in a minute. Oh, I hate to get rid of this corner. It looks pretty cool. Alright, let's get rid of that corner over there real quick. I'm afraid to do that. I can't believe I did that. I'm bummed. Okay, we need to get rid of that corner again. Because we have to get rid of that stripe I put in there. Just slowly, we'll go slowly. We're already getting some wonky looking cells, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. We got rid of our line. Let's bring them back slowly. But see, this is what I'm talking about right here. You see that sort of a salmon color? That's what that lime green and that sort of cranberry color do. We may not be able to get rid of all those caterpillar cells. This is where I stop using the corner catcher, because at this point you kind of need a lot of paint to go off, especially if you want to get rid of cells that you don't like. Okay, that's it. The caterpillar cells are gone. Look how giant those green cells got. I'll bring it back to the middle so we can balance it out. And so that everything doesn't look stretched in one direction a mile. Wow, those green cells are huge. Now if I torch in those green cells, okay, there we go. Pretty cool. I like. If I torch a lot, we're going to get a lot of cells that come up through here. A lot of little ones. And up through there. So I'm going to take my gloves off. Well, I'm going to try to. And like I tell you guys, always keep a wet rag around so you can wipe off anything, you know, immediately. I already see some little air bubbles popping, and you can see those tiny little cells are coming up. So let's pop some air bubbles and see what we get if we torch around the green. We're getting a few little cells up there. That's good. Give it a little bit of interest in that corner, right? Whoops. Don't get your flame too close to it. I got some cells there just from a quick pass. Let's do a quick pass again. Pop the air bubbles. If you let your paint sit overnight, of course you're going to have less air bubbles, but kind of want something to kind of show up in there. So we're going to give it a little help. Okay, that's enough. We're going to leave it. Scrape around the edges with your palette knife so that the paint dripping down will not interfere with your painting when it's sitting off to the side. Move our corner catcher out of the way before I dump it on something. There we go. Alright. That's pretty. Whoops. Y'all are like way off over there. Okay. Let's bring you back down. There we go. That should be better. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. So this is the most boring corner. I don't care for this one. Probably could pour it off a little bit. But I'm going to leave it because it's got that sort of pink color in it. That sort of salmony color. Those always kind of look like tidal pools to me. They got all sorts of things going on in them. And look at those cells right there.
You can make homemade sushi.
And let's see. Let's move around a little bit. You got some cells with all the pretty lines around them. Look at that. It almost looks black, but it's that deep eggplant purple. Some pretty cells. Here's some little bitty cells. Sorry for the shadow. Those giant green cells, but now they have some a little bit more interest in them. They got a few little cells that have come up. Those are super pretty right there. And this corner up here got some pretty little cells in it. That's just a pretty area through there. Okay, there's your pretty for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And thank you for supporting my channel. I hope wherever you are on the planet, you're happy and healthy. And just take care of each other. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.